guys, we are now moving on to our special parallelograms, which involve our rhombus, rectangle, and square, which these are pretty cool because they are parallelograms, but they also have special characteristics that make them a special type of parallelogram. Okay, so in example 1, it says to find the measure of each numbered angle in the rhombus. Sorry, that says rhombus. I know it looks a little rough, but it says rhombus, so I apologize. Alright, so in order to solve the rhombus, we need to remember the properties of a rhombus, which I know the properties of a rhombus are like right there in the back of your brain right now. Okay, which if you don't remember the properties of rhombus, you can reference your note sheets on it, or I'm going to have this kind of in the corner so we can reference it to help us solve. So remember, the properties of a rhombus include parallelograms because it is a type of parallelogram. The diagonals are perpendicular, so when these two diagonals intersect, bam, they form four 90-degree angles. The diagonals bisect opposite angles, so when the diagonal hits the corner, it cuts it in half and makes two congruent angles. Alright, and finally, by the definition of a rhombus, it has four congruent sides. Alright, so looking at the properties, do you see a way we can eventually find all of these nifty angles in the rhombus? Because we need to find angles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which before we get going, I'm going to set a little side on my paper devoted to writing down the values of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this will be where my answers go. So we have the measure of angle 1, the measure of angle 2, the measure of angle 3, and the measure of angle 4. Holy hot dog, I'm excited to start solving. Okay, so looking at these properties, do you see something we can use from this list to help us find one of the angles in the picture? Well, something right off the bat, when these diagonals bisect, when they intersect in each other, they are perpendicular, which means they form four right angles. So I know that all four of these angles right here, which I'm getting out my nifty pen, all four of these angles right here are perpendicular, which means they're 90 degrees. So guess what, you guys? What is the measure of angle 1? Holy hot dog, you guys are so smart. It is 90 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 is 90 degrees. Nice. Awesome. Alright, so we have one of our angles solved for. One is donezo. Bam! Alright, so now we need to find 3, 2, and 4, which maybe the 90-degree angle will help us, or maybe this 58 degrees will help us. Alright, so let's see here. Since a rhombus is a parallelogram, what is our definition of a parallelogram? You guys are so smart. It is opposite sides are parallel. So maybe, just maybe, we can use some of those parallel line properties that we talked about to help us solve. So I know that these two sides are parallel, and these two sides are parallel. Alright, so do you see any of these letters forming using these two parallel lines or these two if we use one of the angles we've already been given? Which one of the angles that's lying on one of these parallel lines is the 58. So I have my 58 degree angle right here. So can I form a letter with this angle and one of my other angles? You guys are too cool for school. It is with angle 2. Do you guys see here what letter is the 58 degree angle and my angle 2 forming? Well, they kind of make that Z shape. Do you guys see it? Alright, and what's the Z shape called? Cool beans, you guys. You guys are so smart. I don't even know why I teach you guys. Alright, so they are alternate interior angles, which means that they are congruent. So 58 degrees is congruent to my angle 2, which means it is 58 degrees as well. Look at that. We found another angle. So this one is also 58 degrees. Alright, so I can write my answer over here. Angle 2 is 58 degrees. Say what? 58 degrees. Alright, now, using angle 2, can I use one of these nifty properties over here to help me maybe find angle 3? Well, you guys are thinking in the correct direction. So, angle 2, if you guys look here, diagonals bisect opposite angles, which means when the diagonal hits the angle, bam, it cuts it in half, it makes two congruent angles. So if it cuts this angle in half, if this is 58 degrees, what do you guys think angle 3 would be? Holy hot dog, it is 58 degrees as well, because when the diagonal comes in here, it bisects it, which means it slices it in half and makes two congruent angles. Sorry guys, got a little feisty with my ladybug right here. So that means angle 3 is also going to be 58 degrees, which I'm going to write this down here because I'm kind of out of space in here. So we're getting closer, you guys. We found our third angle. Angle 3 is also going to be 58 degrees. Say what? Alright, now finally, we need to somehow figure out what angle 4 is, which we might be able to do it based on some of these properties, or remember you guys, sometimes, just sometimes, we have shapes, go away, sorry. We have shapes that are within our nifty quadrilaterals that will help us to find the measures of other angles. So, do you guys see a property or maybe a shape within our rhombus that will help us to find angle 4 right here? Well, you don't have to do it this way, but I spot a triangle right here. Do you guys see this triangle right here? And I know two of the angles in the triangle. I know this one's 90 and this one's 58. So if I know two of my angles in the triangle, how am I going to find my final angle, angle 4, in my triangle? You guys are so smart. You do add them up and set it equal to 180 because all the degrees in a triangle equals 180. So I'm going to add up all those bad boys and set it equal to 180 and solve. Okay, so I'm going to put this away and make this bigger so you guys can see it. Alright, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Let's try to focus this again. Alright, let's get going. So we know that the measure of angle 1, which is 90 degrees, let's see if I can straighten this out, it's a little crooked. Okay, so we know that 90 degrees plus my second angle, which is 58 degrees, plus the measure of angle 4, which we don't know, should all add up to be 180. So now we can solve for angle 4. Yay! Let's start solving. Alright, so I need to add these two bad boys together. So my 90 and my 58 combine to be 148 degrees. Alright, plus the measure of angle 4 equals 180 degrees. Alright, now I must get angle 4 by itself. So how do we move 148 to the other side? Well, since it's a positive 148, I can subtract that bad boy to the other side, which 148 minus 148 cancels in terms of 0. 180 minus 148, that will give me, let's see here. Well, 180 minus 140 is 40. Subtract 8 more is 32 degrees. So the measure of angle 4 equals 32 degrees. And guess what, you guys? We have finished the problem. The measure of angle 4 is 32 degrees. Holy hot dog. Did you guys have as much fun as I had solving this rhombus right here? Well, if you didn't, I know you're going to have just as much fun when we conquer the rectangle and square problem. Nice job, you guys.